Hello, we're back with Happy and Hopeful. And the first bit is we're talking about idiots. We've all done stupid things. So don't be so hard on yourself. Um, yeah, because everybody does it. So anyway, this is the 31 biggest idiots in modern history who turned stupidity into a disaster. Distrust, quasi Quatong. Anyway, just name just a few. So this is Weedham, and it was 3 months ago, so this year. So right, see what you think of these.
Blueprints demanded it. The problem was America controlled the world's helium supply and had passed a law prohibiting its export to Nazi Germany. The Third Reich refused to cancel the program, so rather than ground the most expensive airship ever built, Germany filled it with hydrogen and flew passengers across the Atlantic anyway. For 3 years it worked. On May 6, 1937, the Hindenburg approached its New Jersey landing dock in front of newsreel cameras and a crowd of spectators. A spark ignited the hydrogen. The entire airship was consumed in 34 seconds. 36 people died. The age of passenger airships ended that afternoon, not because the technology failed, but because a political decision chose the wrong gas. 4. Idi Amin ruled Uganda from 1971 to 1979 and gave himself the title His Excellency, President for Life, Lord of all the beasts of the earth and fishes of the seas. So by 1978, he apparently looked at the United States of America and decided that was the next logical opponent. Amin formally declared war on the entire United States. Not a diplomat, not an embassy, America, the country with the largest military on Earth, thousands of nuclear warheads, and bases all over the planet. He sent an official telegram announcing hostilities. This was not subtle. This was political theater performed at full volume. The Pentagon never responded. They may not even have read it. Amin waited about a day, then declared total victory. Uganda had defeated America. He held celebrations, bragged about the triumph, and even awarded himself medals. Washington never acknowledged any of it, not a single word. Amin spent years proudly bragging about his great military conquest to anyone who would listen. The easiest war America ever won was one they never knew they were fighting. 5. By October 1940, Hitler had been conquering Europe without bothering to share the spotlight with his Italian ally. Poland was gone, France had fallen, and Benito Mussolini was sitting in Rome jealous. He wanted his own conquest, his own moment. So, without proper preparation, winter gear, or even the courtesy of informing Hitler, Mussolini ordered the invasion of Greece. The plan was supposed to be quick. The Greeks were expected to collapse within 2 weeks. They did not. Instead, Greek forces counterattacked hard and pushed the Italians back into Albania. Mussolini's glorious campaign turned into a public humiliation. That was already stupid. Then it got expensive. Hitler was furious and had to divert German forces to clean up the mess in the Balkans, conquering Greece and Yugoslavia before turning east. That cost Germany time, resources, and momentum just before Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union. The delay lasted about 5 critical weeks. When German forces finally reached the outskirts of Moscow, Russian winter was already closing in. The campaign stalled. The Eastern Front became Germany's slow, catastrophic collapse. Many historians argue those 5 lost weeks made the difference between victory and defeat. Mussolini wanted a trophy. Instead, he launched a vanity invasion so sloppy his ally had to clean it up, and Europe's timeline paid the bill. 6. Fresh from his coronation, Tsar Nicholas II wanted to celebrate with the people of Russia. So the empire organized a huge public festival at Kadynka Field outside Moscow, promising free commemorative gifts for anyone who showed up. 500,000 people packed the field overnight to secure their place in line. Then rumors spread that there would not be enough gifts for everyone. Panic hit. The crowd surged forward. People fell into old military trenches hidden in the field. Others got crushed under the force of thousands pushing from behind, and within minutes nearly 1,400 people were dead. Nicholas received the news that same morning. He now faced a simple choice: cancel the scheduled ball at the French ambassador's residence that evening, or attend as planned, his advisors warned that canceling would offend France. Nicholas went to the ball. He danced while bodies were still being cleared from the field. That is why the disaster lasted beyond the stampede itself. It was not just that people died for souvenirs. It was that the new Tsar responded to mass death by protecting protocol over grief, and Russia never forgot it. 7. The Ottoman Empire did not need to win the Battle of Karansabes in 1788. The Austrian army was already doing the job for them. About 100,000 Austrian troops were moving through Romania to fight the Ottomans when an advanced cavalry unit found local villagers selling schnapps. Instead of scouting for the enemy, they bought the alcohol and got drunk before the battle had even started. Then the infantry arrived and wanted some. That is when the stupidity turned into disaster. A fight broke out between Austrian cavalry and Austrian infantry over liquor. In the dark, shots were fired. Nobody is even sure who fired first. Then someone yelled, "Turks!" Panic tore through the camp. Soldiers thought the enemy had attacked. Cavalry charged their own men. Artillery opened fire on friendly troops. Units fled from shadows, confusion, and commands they could not understand. By morning, the Austrians had inflicted somewhere between 1,000 and 10,000 casualties on themselves. 2 days later, the real Ottoman army arrived. The Austrians had already gotten drunk, panicked, and lost the battle to themselves. 8. On the night of April 14, 1912, the SS Californian was sitting still in an ice field not far from the Titanic. Its officers could see rockets rising in the distance. They reported them to Captain Stanley Lord. He was told another ship nearby was firing rockets into the night. Not once, more than once. He asked if they were company signals, got no answer that made the situation safe, and then did something that still sounds impossible. He went back to sleep. While the Titanic was sinking, while passengers were climbing into lifeboats, while more than 1,500 people were moving toward freezing black water, the nearest ship stayed where it was. This was not a rescue that arrived too late. It was a rescue that never began. The Californian had the time, the distance, and the chance to move. Its captain chose uncertainty, delay, and his pillow. For the rest of his life, Stanley Lord insisted the rockets were not distress signals. History looked at the same sky and gave a different answer. 9. In 1912, British researchers announced a discovery that seemed to change human history. Buried in a gravel pit in England, they claimed, was the long-sought missing link between apes and humans. The fossil quickly became known as Piltdown Man, and scientists treated it like a breakthrough. Textbooks absorbed it. Museums displayed it. Careers grew around it. For decades, one fake fossil sat near the center of evolutionary science because it told too many people exactly what they wanted to hear. That is what made the hoax so powerful. Piltdown Man conveniently placed the big-brained early human in England, which flattered national pride as much as it fed scientific ambition. Only in 1953, when better testing methods were applied, did the whole thing collapse. The ancient fossil turned out to be a medieval human skull, attached to an orangutan jaw, chemically stained to look old. The greatest detective in fiction lived next door to the greatest unsolved scientific fraud in history. Nobody caught it for 4 decades. Someone planted a fake ancestor in the ground. Science buried its own credibility on top of it. 10. Some commanders learn from failure. General Luigi Cadorna treated it like a schedule. During World War I, Cadorna led the Italian army with one basic idea: send men straight at entrenched Austrian positions along the Isonzo River. When it failed, he ordered another assault. Then another. Then another. Over 2 years, Italy fought 12 battles on the same front, using the same brutal logic and getting the same result. Thousands of soldiers cut down for almost nothing. That was already disastrous. Then Cadorna made it worse. Instead of blaming bad planning, weak tactics, or impossible conditions, he blamed the men who survived. He revived decimation, the ancient punishment of executing every 10th soldier and units accused of cowardice. He looked at mass slaughter and decided the real problem was not enough fear. Then came Caporetto. The Italian army collapsed. Around 300,000 men surrendered or fled, and Cadorna was finally removed. His replacement improved conditions, ended the executions, and the army performed better. The soldiers had not forgotten how to fight. They had been trapped under a man who confused repetition with genius. 11. On December 6, 1917,
seems to be a preponderance for taking the mickey out of mostly our enemies. So where's the American mistakes? So but to the victors, they're at the history. So yeah, it's there is humour involved, but the whole concept of what I'm saying is just think about things, especially history. Okay, I'll say in the part 1, part 2 will be coming soon.